by 20 past, we should be done with everything.
Thank you. This one.
When there's 5 minutes left, you just indicate for us.
So we are finishing at 20 past, so that means quarter past.
Quarter past indicate for. Okay. So we will try and go through most of the lessons in this presentation, but if we don't complete it, you should not worry about it, because lessons, even if you carry one lesson, it's enough. Right, so let me do the introduction first. My name is Samuel Baloi. I was born in the United States. I was Zone 2 Deep Kloof in Soweto. That is where I was raised. But I'm running the company Par Excellence. We deal with corporate trainings, coaching, motivations, publishing, and events. So let's talk about the bedrock of collegiality, winning together all the time. Every space where there is more than one person, we call that space occupied by a group. We don't say team, because group is general, team is intentional. Once we become a team, it's because of the intention. We become a group because of the increase of number. So we can be 100 in this institution. We are a mere group until we are intentional about our teamhood. So when I call the collegiality, which is the commonness and cooperation amongst individuals that have formed a team within a space of work, that's collegiality. We are colleagues, isn't it? Yeah, so this is where the term comes from. Colleagues working together in cooperation and also forming companionship. There are other terminologies that speak to that. Team cohesion, you know about that. Team unity, team congruence, where we work in harmony. Why is it that we need to teach team congruence, team cohesion, team unity? It is because naturally, as human beings, we are prone to be divided because of our uniqueness. Please write it down. By nature, human nature, we are prone to be divided because of our uniqueness. And that's why, if we are going to form collegiality, we need to be intentional about it. It won't happen naturally. We have to make it happen. Am I good so far? Are you listening so far? All right. So winning together all the time means all the time we must be intentional about our relationship within a workplace environment. Do you see your mood today, how you are right now? There's no guarantee that you'll be like this tomorrow. Because human nature and the experiences of events that we have within our personal space determine our mood on a daily basis. So the same coach someone Balu is speaking today, tomorrow he might be frowned and angry, and possess another attitude different to the one I'm possessing today. That's why on a daily basis we need to work on the intentionality to reach collegiality. Right, so the preambles that I want to deal with, which is the preface of the presentation, they are more on the negative category than the positive. So I want to end with the positive because of time, but let me begin with some of the negative endowments or attributes that are the impediments for our reaching of collegiality. What are the things that are hindrances that can stop us from reaching collegiality? Number one, there's what we call hubris attitude. I know for some of you, hubris might be a new term, but it simply means excessive pride, excessive arrogance, excessive confidence, and self-importance. So as individuals forming a team with other individuals, when we form collegiality, as individuals we might have different attitudes, isn't it? So there are those with hubris attitude. Hubris attitude, they feel they are more important than others. They feel that they are more experienced than others. They feel that they are more educated than others. And as a result, they become condescending towards others. You know the organogram in an organization. It starts with the C-suite. Your CEO, your COO, your CFO. Then it goes to senior management, supervisory management, and then customer-facing management, and even those who work with clients on a daily basis. So in our context, the organogram will go from the SGB, if there's SGB, the principal, deputy, that management, until the teacher in the class. But the final client is the child. That is our custom. So that's our organogram. And if we are going to accommodate or be lenient to hubris attitudes, we are going to punish our clients at the end of the day. So as adults, we may want to prove points to each other. I may want to prove to you that, you know what, you can't play on my head. I can also show you flames. But who suffers at the end of the day when two bulls are fighting? The grass suffers. And the grass in this context is the learner in the classroom. And why are we here? We're not here for ourselves. We are here for the learner. We are from universities. We are from colleges. We have done our part. And they are trying to do their part. But this can be a hindrance or an impediment to making our client happy at the end of the day. Negative attitude. Now, there's no neutrality. I'll only give one point on this one. There's no neutrality where attitude is concerned. It's either you have a negative attitude or a positive one. You cannot say, I'm not positive, I'm not negative, I'm just in between. You can check your dictionary. There's no in between attitude. It's either you are positive or negative. What makes people to possess negative attitudes? It's a lot of elements, a lot of aspects. One of them is career burnout. Somebody has retired before retirement. They no longer have passion, the vehemence for what they are doing. They no longer have the ardent to do what they are doing. Therefore, it's a matter of pulling your legs every day. You are ponderous, like when a woman is 12 months pregnant, not 9 months, 12 months, which means it has gone over. Now the belly makes the body to be subjected to the belly. So you are ponderous. Even when you walk like you don't want to walk. When you talk like you don't want to talk. But why? Because now the weight that you have from the burnout is too much. And that's what we should not allow, because then you become a nuisance to the rest of the team. You can't form collegiality when you are suffering burnout. And that's why you must go for therapy to overcome burnout. Are we together? Lack of personal leadership, it's another negative aspect, categorized under negativity. Detachment. There are people who are statistically with us, but they are not with us. They've detached themselves from the web that forms the team. So with such people, we cannot form collegiality because they are not with us. I call them people who are present yet not available. How many of you own cell phones? I take it all of us. Have you called the cell phone of somebody and then there's a lady talking on the other side saying subscriber unavailable? But if you pick up that phone is on. It's on, it's switched on. But subscriber is unavailable. So there are colleagues that are present within the space. They are like cell phones that are on. But when you call them, it's subscriber unavailable. Present yet not available. And where does your worth in the workplace emanate from? It does not emanate from your presence. It emanates from your availability, because your availability is your productivity. Are we paid for being present here? No. We are paid for being productive from our workspaces. Two words that define this place that we occupy. Workplace, say that after me, workplace.
Workplace.
And then say workspace.
Workspace.
So the staff room, the reception area, the whole yard, that's your workplace. But your classroom, it's your workspace. So you are not paid for being in the schoolyard. You are paid for being productive from your workspace. But catch this, there are things that can happen from the workplace that will affect your productivity in the workspace. You meet a colleague in the corridors of your workplace whom you are not in harmony with. And that colleague expresses a gesture which you interpret as something that she's saying or he's saying to you. Then your whole day is spoiled. What happens when you go to your workspace? You are carrying that colleague with you, whom you had that beef with in the corridors. You are carrying them to your classroom. Then they affect your productivity in the classroom. So you find yourself having the ability to excel, but you are operating as a mediocre. You are an eagle with wings, but you are operating at the chicken level. Because also chickens have got wings. So you forget that your wings are that of an eagle, not a chicken. So if you forget who you are in the space, you become consumed or overwhelmed by the negative things that are happening in the space. You lose yourself totally. And once you get to that point, the only therapy is for you to resign and go and sell tomatoes at home. Because now, instead of you adding value, you withdraw value everywhere. And the value you withdraw is the value added by others. Is it a good lesson that I'm sharing? You are withdrawing the value which you did not add, it was added by others. So these are the preambles of the things that can be impediments to our reaching of collegiality. Now let's look at the positive, because I want us to end with the positive. All this requires our effort. You want to ask a question?
Are you going to go into the lack of personal leadership?
You want me to go into that? I can go into that if that is fine with you. So, the spaces that you operate from, before we talk about workspace, we talk about personal space, isn't it? And personal space is a platform for the development of personal leadership. So the things you develop from the personal space are like pregnancy. You can't hide it in the public space. We are all adults and we understand what I'm saying, because you can start vomiting as a lady after 3 weeks and we diagnose you and we say you are pregnant. You can deny that and say, no, I'm not pregnant. It was COVID-19. But let's wait for 3 months. 3 weeks, we can accommodate you. But 3 months, it will start showing that it was never COVID-19. You became silly in your personal space. Now it's revealing in the public space. So this is personal leadership. You develop it not at work. You develop it from your personal space. That's why it's called personal. And when you come to a public space, you will only exhibit and express what you have had a chance to develop from the personal space. There are people who take self-development as an event. They will attend a workshop like this and say, I'm self-developed. And self-development is not an event. It's an everyday pursuit of development and growth. Because if you are not personally developing, nothing else around you will develop. So if you are broke today financially, you must know, if your money is not growing, it's because you are not growing. Please write it down and then you can research it. Anything that surrounds you, if it does not grow, it is because you are not growing. Your money grows to the level that you have grown. Your marriage grows to the level that you have grown. Your career will grow to the level that you have grown. So do you see that development, especially personal leadership, does not start at work. It starts at home. If you can't whip it there in your personal space, you can't whip it in a public space. Personal leadership is positioning your uniqueness and expressing it in the midst of the uniqueness of others. There's nobody who is operating in personal leadership that will be a commoner. You can't be a statistic. You become different because the things that you do from a personal space, it's not what every commoner in the workplace is doing. Can you ask the person next to you, please do me a favor, I'll protect you. Ask them, when last did you read a book for self-development? Please ask them, I'll protect you, and wait for an answer. Yeah. When last did you read a book for self-development? So even if they don't give you an answer. So this shows that most of the people who are not here, not you, but the people who are not here, most of the people who are not here, they don't prioritize personal leadership, but they want positions. They think occupying positions is leadership. And what you don't realize is that actually when you occupy a position, that's where more responsibility is required than when you are not in a position. So leadership is not a position. Leadership is function that emanates from the womb of preparation. What you do from your personal space is preparation for function in the public space. The things I'm saying here, I did not prepare them here. I prepared them from where? Personal space. I'm exhibiting what I prepared there because preparation precedes performance. And no matter how skilled you are, look at soccer players. You can know how to, we call it dribbling. You can know how to dribble, you can know how to trap the ball and pass it to your team member and all of that. You are skillful. If you don't go to training, will you still last 90 minutes? Talk to me, class.
No.
You can't last 90 minutes because you did not prepare. You came with a skill that is naked of preparedness. And therefore your performance becomes limited. Let me proceed to the positive ones. This is what will enable us. Remember our topic. What is our topic? The bedrock of collegiality, right? Then we spoke about those negative things that can be impediments to us reaching collegiality. Now let's talk about the positive ones. The substratum basis of collegiality. It's when individuals are self-aware. If you are not self-aware as an individual, you'll find yourself behaving in the way that your network or association network behaves. So if Coach Sembadoi is not in a good relationship with Ma'am Julia, you also become part of the equation when you have nothing to do with the squabble that Sam has with Ma'am Julia. It is because you are not self-aware. So you only operate through the version of the people you relate with. So I was born in Soweto in Diepkloof. If you go to Soweto, most of the young men, as they grow up, this is how they walk. Yeah? Why? It is because that's stylish for them. That's glamour for them. Because the seniors grew up walking like that. So I was born in Soweto, but I don't walk like that because I don't live my life based on the versions of other people. I'm not swallowed by the environment. And I don't smell like the environment, but I make the environment to smell like me. So where do you get the smell which you can impart into environments? It's when you get to the place of self-awareness. Okay? Let me give you 3 terms that speak to self-awareness. Maybe we will end on this slide because of time, but I'll be able to send the rest of the slide to you guys. Number 1, there is a concept we call character. And there's a concept we call personality. And there's a concept we call reputation. That summarizes self-awareness. Many people misdefine character. You'll find people protecting character attributes and pinning or pegging them to who they are from birth. So for an example, somebody is short-tempered and they tell you, me, I was born like this. I've got short temper, you touch me, you touch the wrong part. Even my mother at home knows I'm short-tempered. Even at birth, I cried, I cried at birth. And you forget that at birth is not a sign of short-temperedness, it's a sign of life. If a child does not cry at birth, they will be spanked so that they can cry, because that's a sign of life. But there are people who take fruits of character, progenies of character, and they peg them on themselves as who they are. Nobody was born with a character. Please write it down. Character is developed. It may be influenced by many elements such as upbringing, education, exposure, experience, and association, the people you keep around you. So the person that you are today by character, nobody is responsible for that but yourself. Character is a choice. So as a country, we are coming from an apartheid era, right? Huh? In 2024, after how many years of democracy? Is it 28, 27 years? 28 years of democracy. If you still choose to be racist, who's responsible for that? Yourself, because it's a choice that you have made, that this is the character I'm going to display. Now, different to character, it's personality. There's a thin line. Personality is inborn. That's why we have introverts and extroverts. So this is by birth. People who are reticent, quiet, and reserved, it's by birth. They were born like that. And people like me who are outgoing, outspoken, and we love the spotlight, it's also by personality from birth. So 4 quick types of personalities. You get the drivers. And I'll quickly summarize it for you. Drivers are people with a strong character who are bold, with high levels of confidence, but above all, they are spontaneous. So how drivers make decisions, it's not how everybody else with a different personality will make the decision. So the dominant personality in my life is that of a driver. I was telling the deputy principal and I said, me, I stay everywhere. I relocated from Gauteng to Polokwane. From Polokwane, where next, I don't know. Maybe I'll be in Cape Town. Because if I'm convicted by something and I put my hands on it, I will make it happen. And I don't take time to decide. I decide immediately and I make it happen. Huh? So the danger of drivers operating alone is that most of the time they make uncalculated moves. Because we have that audacity to decide immediately. The second one is an analyst. Analysts are those who will say to me, Mr. Baroi, I can hear that you are convicted by this and you want to pursue it. But before I join you, I need details. I can't make a decision like you did. I need to analyze the situation. These are people who are more risk averse. So risk aversion are the people who are afraid of taking immediate risks. And it's a personality thing. They take time to decide. You are married to a person who has a different personality and you have not understood them. You have blamed them over the years you have married to them. Today you are receiving your deliverance and your freedom. You will go back and work well with the person you are married to because you will understand that there's different personalities. Most of the time in our team here at work, you'll find that there are people who are analysts. Most of the time when we invite them to a project, they take time to come. And it's easy for you to label them as the black sheep of the team. Are you hearing what I'm saying? Am I making sense? But it is because you have not observed whether that gesture they are expressing, is it from a personality space or is it just an intentional attitude? So sometimes there's no attitude. It is just a personality thing. And if we can learn these diverse personalities, we'll be able to accommodate one another. Number 3, you've got the expressives. The expressive personalities are those who like, even when they greet you, they just want to hug you. It cannot just end in a high five. They are expressive, they are touchy. You know, even when they are talking, they'll be hitting you on the shoulder here as they are talking. Because they are expressive people. They are not afraid of platforms and they don't bottle issues, these ones. You step on their toes now, they want to sort out the matter now so that we can move on together after this. Are you following? They are expressive. So if you don't understand types of personalities, how will you label them? You will label them disrespectful, arrogant, because they always express themselves. But the last one is the amiables. Amiables, it's spelled A-M-I, then ables, like ability. Amiables. These are more friendly, benign, benevolent, and kind personalities. In a workplace environment, most of the time, these ones are abused because they accommodate everybody and they accommodate anything. You go and borrow money from them, and they will not come after you seeking for their money. Then you pretend like you have forgotten that you owe them because they are not coming after you. Tell the person next to you and say, pay back the money, darling. If you owe, you must pay. Don't take advantage of the personality of the person because they don't have the audacity, the boldness, and the confidence to come after you. It's a personality thing. Yes, please start.
5 minutes left.
Oh, 5 minutes left. Thank you. Okay.
You can go on. Just thank you.
So it's character, it's personality. Last one on self-awareness. It's a reputation. Character is the version you introduce to the world. Are you following? None of you seated here know my character yet. Until you start relating with me over time. Then you start to learn my character because that's what I will sell to you. That's the character I will sell to you. So there is no smoke without fire. There are people who like saying, I don't care what people say about me. Whatever they say about me, I don't care. They can say whatever they want to say. You should start caring because there's no smoke without fire. When people define you based on the smoke, that smoke is a reflection of the fire you have started. Because nobody starts the fire for you. You start it and people smell the smoke and then they define you based on the smoke. That's powerful. And that's your reputation. So reputation becomes your value and your worth in the eyes of those you are relating with. So if we take you right now, place you on top of this chair, we'll treat it as a pedestal. And then we ask your colleagues, what is the value and the worth of Samuel Baloyi? If your colleagues say 2 cents, then you know you have a bad reputation. They should say something like, there is no price we can attach to the reputation of this person. You must know you've got a gold reputation amongst your colleagues. And that leads us to collegiality. We can't reach collegiality until all individuals are self-aware. When you are self-aware, you will treat people the same way you will treat yourself. So you can't hurt others intentionally because you know you can't hurt yourself. And when you are aware of yourself, it also boils down to being aware of your emotions, your reactions, your psychological behavior and conduct. If you know that when somebody swears at you, you can easily avoid them. That's why you avoid road rage. But if somebody slaps you, you know that all the demons from your lineage of the family, they all arise at the same time because you can't stomach being slapped. What is the better way of managing that kind of an emotional reaction? Is to avoid situations that will get you slapped. Because if you expose yourself to situations that will get you slapped, you know that you are going to respond in a way that you won't be proud of. And unfortunately, that is the reputation that people will uphold about yourself. I end here. Thank you so much for listening to me. I will take questions, inputs, and comments. Then I will close it by exposing you to the 2 books that I have here. These ones you paid for. You didn't pay for the service but individuals can buy this, those who will be interested. So let's take questions, inputs, and comments. I think you can stop that one unless you want to continue.